What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the MG YouTube channel where we talk business, investing, Tesla, and yeah, today I got a video for you guys discussing if you are a Uber driver or you are a DoorDasher or any type of delivery service driver, you need to get yourself a Tesla with FSD. And I'm going to explain a couple reasons why you need to do that. One, if this is your primary job, you depend on this income. And if you depend on this income, you actually need to hedge against the risk of Tesla's robotaxi. So Tesla's robotaxi is coming, and it's going to be super innovative, and it's going to completely disrupt things, right? And you need to be on the forefront of this, because if not, again, it's going to disrupt your personal income. By the way, we just engaged FSD. So you'll get to see a little bit of like how the Tesla vehicle drives while I'm just sitting here, basically. But the robotaxi is going to disrupt the entire vehicle industry, right? The entire automotive industry is going to be completely disrupted, and it's especially going to impact and have a huge effect on any company that's relative to like taxi services like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, like Walmart delivery. Now again, if their core business model is delivery and they don't somehow partner with Tesla and robotaxi, either that's through offering like that robotaxi service through their app or however they go about it, if they don't do that, those companies are going to die, and a lot of the automotive companies are going to die as well. And the reason why they're going to die is because at some point people are going to say, okay, it makes so much more sense for me to have a vehicle with autopilot. Like we have a nice Lincoln Navigator with massaging seats and has some lane assist stuff, and literally we don't even want to drive it. Like we just don't want to drive. We're like, oh my gosh, ugh. We sound so privileged. It's like ridiculous, because I came from poverty and so did my fiance. We didn't grow up with a lot of money and stuff, so it sounds super what do you call it, just like arrogant or whatever. It's like, gosh, you got to drive the Lincoln Navigator with massaging seats. But it really feels like that after you go and drive a vehicle with FSD. Like that feature is so much better than a massaging seat, or so much better than any other feature. And that's the primary reason why I'd buy a Tesla. It isn't that I love Tesla so much or I love electric vehicles so much. It's the FSD. And also just like being an investor in Tesla, I want to see how well this technology is working. So I'm here in the Cybertruck right now, but we also have a Tesla Model Y, and so I get to see on a daily basis how well this is driving. And I've only had this vehicle, this Cybertruck, for 3 months, and I've already put on 13,000 miles. So just to give you an example of like how much like experience and usability I put on this vehicle already, and I put that usability not for just the testing, but just for my other business purposes. But again, look, that many miles, and probably 95% of those miles have been 95% of those miles have been FSD. Probably 4% of those miles have been me just wanting to go fast, and probably 1% of that is like me not wanting to go slow through a parking lot. So a lot of times I'll get out of a parking lot just because like the Tesla does fine, the FSD does fine, but like a lot of times I don't want to. It's very like disciplined in the way that it travels through a parking lot. So like, a lot of times you just shoot across the parking lot instead of like following like the exact routes of how you're supposed to go across the parking lot or whatever. So, whatever. But the next thing that I want to get into, besides like it just being disruptive and potentially taking away from jobs that are currently delivery service jobs, or again, like taxi jobs, it also presents an opportunity, because you have the experience of being a delivery driver. You have the experience of, being a taxi service person, and that has given you an insight that other people don't get to see, right? And then so one, if you can do this in a Tesla, you're going to get to experience FSD and experience how good it is, and maybe to open up your mind to opportunities like investing into Tesla. Now, I'm not telling you should or should not invest in a Tesla. I believe everybody should be investing in Tesla. I think they're going to be one of the largest companies in the world. However, like I can't legally give you like financial advice. But yeah, I mean, it's going to open up your mind to that. And then not only that, you're going to experience how good it is, and you're going to be able to enjoy your job a lot more. It's going to be so much more enjoyable. Like, you're going to be able to just put in the FSD to whatever destination your order's at, and you're going to just sit back like this. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of delivery drivers are already having like YouTube and podcasts on and stuff like that, but you're going to be able to have that usability and do it even more safely. You're going to be able to avoid wrecks and accidents, so that way, you know, you don't have to pay out deductibles and stuff like that. Your insurance policies don't go up. Even if it's just an additional tool to your already driving, it's going to have those benefits. And that kind of really takes me to, you know, really the next most important reason why you should, you know, drive in a robotaxi, or not drive in a robotaxi, but get a Tesla to do your driving services, is because once robotaxi launches and releases and is in your local city, you're going to have the ability to turn your vehicle on as an autonomous vehicle, an unsupervised vehicle that you're going to be able to use and make money off of. And it might become like the new business that you decide to do. And according to some of the numbers that I've ran on this business, this might be one of the most profitable businesses that has ever came to mass market, like ever. I mean, this is like the equivalency. If I was to give you some equivalency, this is the equivalency of like YouTube, right? All the people that got super wealthy, they're multimillionaires from being like the first YouTubers on YouTube. You know, originally they were posting videos that were like just garbage and suck. And, you know, even today, like, people are getting wealthy off of YouTube, you know, just making YouTube videos, and that created a whole ecosystem of people being able to generate wealth. And this robotaxi thing is that same opportunity. Just, again, according to the numbers that I've ran, the ROI on this is like literally months. Like, according to what I ran, I have a whole video on that topic, so go, you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel and check that video when it comes out. It should already be out, if I'm not mistaken. Or I might upload this raw, so it might come out after this one, because that one is getting edited. I do have a $50,000 FSD video, why I think FSD is going to cost $50,000 for commercial use at some point in the future. But in that raw video, I made a raw video that I just uploaded, and then we have another edited one that's coming out. The edited one, I have a whiteboard, and I draw out some of the cost basis for robotaxi and some of the ROI. So also, if you're just a business owner in general, and you want to like look at this as a potential justification of a business, check out that video, because I think it's gonna be super useful, and I think it's the biggest opportunity ever. So another thing is, like, Elon, you know, directly mentioned, like, we anticipate that people are going to basically have flocks of vehicles, right? You'll tend to your sheep or whatever. And so he's basically implying that you will have many vehicles in your fleet. So instead of being a Uber driver, you will be a fleet operator, okay? And if you're a fleet operator, this is a business, right? This is like being an Uber driver, and you not driving the Uber car, and you having 10 drivers that just drive for you. You know, and then you just collect commission off of all of the drivers driving. And you're going to have that same opportunity with robotaxi, but you don't have to pay the drivers. So that's where the extreme amount of profitability comes from, is you don't have to pay drivers. You don't have to pay drivers to drive the vehicles. They're just going to drive themselves. And so immediately overnight, you're going to be able to have this revenue generating machine that's just going to make you wealthy, right? I mean, literally one vehicle could start making somebody $100,000 a year easy. And even after the market gets saturated, I anticipate that you're going to be able to make, at a minimum, $50,000 a year per vehicle. And you're like, okay, well, that's $50,000 a year. Like, as an Uber driver, I make $80,000. Okay, cool. But own 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 robotaxis. And again, if you just buy this vehicle, you have to have a vehicle to do your driving job anyway. Like, get the Tesla, try that out, and then you'll be able to experience how close it is and how real of a thing it is. And then whenever it's time to turn on that robotaxi, you have the capability, because you already have the vehicle. You literally can just step out of the vehicle and say, okay, I don't have to drive no more. Now you have every day of yours free to do whatever you want to do while your vehicle is just out making money. Maybe you got to clean it ever so often, or or whatever, service it some way. Maybe at first you have to plug it into the charger. Maybe it has to drive back to your house and you plug it into the slow charger, or maybe you have to meet the car over here at a supercharger or something like that. That's just some potential things you might have to do, but initially at least. I think one of the things I believe will happen is they'll put an Optimus robot at each one of these locations, because really unplugging that thing and plugging it into a vehicle is like not that complicated of a task. I think Optimus is ready to do that right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that whenever they do robotaxi, when they do robotaxi. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of release that as like a video that Optimus does. So yeah, I think this is one of the biggest opportunities that business owners have in general, but I think as an Uber driver, you guys have an insight, again, DoorDash, any of the delivery services, you guys have an insight that a lot of people don't have, because you are doing delivery, right? You're seeing things from a different lens. And this is what makes people wealthy. This is how people are able to become extremely wealthy with just small amounts of money. It's because they see things that other people don't see, and they place a bet against it. That bet may be an investment in Tesla. That bet may be buying a Tesla vehicle. That, you know what I mean? Maybe like, so, I mean, an example of what I'm doing, I'm practicing what I'm preaching. Not only do I own Tesla stock, I now own 2 Tesla vehicles with FSD bought out. I'm looking at getting rid of some of the other other vehicles that we have. They're gas vehicles, but it's not because they're gas or electric or anything like that. It's because they don't have FSD. I'm looking at getting rid of some of those vehicles, like the Lincoln I said. We have another Expedition. We might just get rid of those or sell them, whatever, and then redeploy that money into more Teslas. We also have a vehicle business that we're operating, so we don't do like DoorDash really, other than just for like video sake and FSD testing. But we basically rent out vehicles and stuff. But what we're doing to position ourselves is build out a fleet while renting vehicles, and we're just trying to see that model work. We're doing our price adjustments. As soon as we have that model locked in and we feel like we can be completely profitable and remove a lot of the liability from it, we're going to flip the switch on that. Even this Cybertruck is listed on there to be driven, and that's just because we're trying to work on a model, like how can we start scaling out a fleet, and so that way, over like the next year or two, whenever it becomes available in our area, that we're able to pull the trigger and put a bunch of robo-taxis on the network. I gotta charge this vehicle. But yeah, hopefully this was a useful video for you guys. If you want to see more videos like this, drop it down in the comments below, and we'll catch you all in the next one.